Hello friends, and welcome to a ROM hack of Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. It is mostly similar to the original. It's going to have the new characters, it's going to have the new quests, it's going to have the new content, combat-wise. It's not going to have multiplayer because it's a ROM hack. Those equipment pieces, weapons, items, and the like that you could get in multiplayer are now, thanks to this hack, unique items that are spread throughout the world, mostly in the deep dungeon because they're all sort of end-game stuff. If you have never played Final Fantasy Tactics, you're in for a treat. You won't notice anything different. Stuff's going to work a little bit better than it does in the original game. I absolutely love Final Fantasy Tactics, one of my favorite games. I love the War of the Lions version, also a fantastic game. The re-release that came out not too long ago, as I'm shooting this in late 2025, and it may bleed over into 2026. That version kind of sucks. The difference between normal Final Fantasy Tactics and War of the Lions is they took out all the cute battle quotes. This hack puts them all back in. They added in a bunch of thee and thouing in speech. I think this hack takes some of that out. It leaves some of it in. It should be a good time. Hopefully you are on the right version, because this wants me to start naming Ramza, and I think the hack is not supposed to have a name pre-filled. We are, however, Ramza. We are going to be a Capricorn. I think this is today. We open in Mysterious Figure's room. That, I believe, is Olan. He's going to tell us the Zodiac Brave story. We open up on a figure near a small little waterfall on a creek, or a river. We will come to think he's pretty much an asshole as we go. I don't think he's actually trying to be an asshole most of the time. Definitely at least some of the time. The music in this game is fantastic, as you should expect from a Final Fantasy game. It has a lot of tracks you will notice content creators use as background music. It has chocobos. It has voiced FMV in the War of the Lions version. I believe the original does not. It's been a very long time since I have seen any of these FMVs because I skip them as much as possible. And as pretty as this is, it's mostly pointless. Him being tucked away in the woods is not pointless, however. It's a female knight. Her name is Agrius. She is pretty awesome. If anyone wants to tell you there aren't great female characters in games, Agrius has been around for 20 years? 25 years? A very long time. Here we meet Gafgarian, and a little bitty squire, and someone who's not a little bitty squire. Vulgar knaves. This version is still going to be using some fancy pants names for everything, including all of the places we're going to. I do miss the far more commoner English, I suppose, than what we're gonna get. It appears Duke Goltana has sent some in to stir up some trouble. And there's us. Just a little boy. Little mercenary squire. Hopefully, this loads correctly and we don't see two knights. If we see two female knights, it's bad. It's not bad. We are correctly playing the right version of this game. In the normal version of every Final Fantasy Tactics game, this battle is the most tutorial you will ever find in a Final Fantasy Tactics game, outside of it telling you what things do. Normally, if you play this game for real, you will start on this map, not having control of anyone except Ramza. We have control of Ramza, but we'll have control of everyone else. Pay no attention to levels, they don't matter. We have Lad, he's a squire. Squire is the basic melee class of this game. You level it up to unlock other melee classes, and you level up those melee classes to get even higher level melee classes and archers. They're pretty neat. One of those higher level classes is Knight. That is Alicia. Lavian over here used to also be a knight. She is currently not a knight. She is a white mage. White mage is not the basic caster type. That is chemist. That is these dudes. Chemists throw potions. Normally they can wield knives and guns. This version of the hack, or this hack of the game, they can use crossbows and something else. Crossbow is going to be incredibly important at some point. Also a knight. Knights have cool little sprites. I like the knight sprites. Archers carry bows. Things to know in Final Fantasy Tactics. You can move. You move at a distance equal to your move. That is right under the portrait. The height you can move with each move that you make is equal to your jump. So if you want to move from a 5 height tile to an 8 height tile, Ramza can do that. If he wants to go from 5 to 9, he cannot. This is important in some maps, not important in others. Very important is that every attack has a height. It is based on your weapon, or it is based on the skill you're using. Sword skills, generally 1 height difference. Magic, a little bit higher variance. Your speed is the amount of time it takes your CT to go from a number. Well, it's the amount you gain per action that's not currently happening. It's interesting. The way it works, when your CT hits 100, you get an action. If you do nothing, your CT drops to 60. If you move or act, your CT drops to 40. If you move and act, it drops to 0. I might be a little squidgy on those numbers. It's been a long time. Other stats. Level and experience, those are pretty obvious. HP, you know what HP does. If you run out of it, you fall down and go boom. MP, that's what you use to cast skills that need MP, mostly magic. Bravery is damage modifier. Faith is a magic damage modifier. Normally, if you have too little bravery or too much faith, you can defect. That's not going to be a thing in this hack. Other numbers to note: weapon power, that gets added to your attack stat to determine your damage. As he is wielding a weapon in his right hand is 7 damage with 6% crit chance. Left hand has nothing. His base attack, 6. CEV is your character evasion. That is a 10% chance to just evade shit. SEV is shield evade. That works from the front and the side. CEV is front. AEV is accessory evade. That works from every direction. Notice that it doesn't work on magic. Only certain evasions work on magic. They are typically on cloaks. These are multiplicative. If you have 50% character evade and 50% accessory evade, you don't have full evade, you have a 75% evade. This gets important when you start getting into CEV 20, accessory evade 80, shield evade 40. You're like, I'm never going to get hit, and you're going to get hit a very small amount of time. You're really, in truth, probably never going to get hit. Other things to note. There are jobs in this game. Sellsword is Ram's current job. Don't worry, he will not keep this job at any other time other than this map. We also know of chemists, knights, and archers existing. He has some skills in them. 311. That means he is level 1 chemist, level 1 knight, level 1 archer. Doesn't matter. Can't change his skills here. If you click on the class, you can see the skills that exist. Abilities are things you can use as your action. They do different things. Focus increases attack power by 1, tailwind increases speed by 1, that's very important. Steel increases bravery by 1. These have different names in both versions of the game. War of the Lions changes a lot of skill names up, and for the most part, they're worse. You have counter abilities, that is the little arrow that looks like it's deflecting off of something. Counter tackle here means when you're attacked, you have a chance to counter. That is based on your brave. We have support abilities. Defend gives you the defend option. Re-equip gives you the re-equip option. Lets you equip new items in battle. Defend lets you take the defend action. The movement skills, that is the foot down there. Squire gives you move +1 and jump +1. Jump +1, not going to be a whole lot of use. Move +1, going to be on every character unless there's a reason it shouldn't be. You'll notice right now Ramza has a few skills learned. He does not have Tailwind or Steel. I believe he will start when we get out of the prologue. He'll start with Tailwind. You can see you can equip the ability set of the class you're using, the ability set of one other class, then one counter or reaction skill, one support skill, and one movement skill. You also have 2 hands, 1 head, 1 chest, and 1 accessory slot. You cannot dual wield unless your class says you can dual wield. You can only wear the weapons your class says you can use. Squires here. Normally, axes, flails, swords, some daggers. Ramza is the special kind of squire. He's going to be able to use pretty much everything in the game by the time we get to the end of the game. He is the Uber Squire. There will be another Uber Squire that we'll find who has the problem of being not Ramza and having the same class as Ramza. Main character, protagonist, gets all the cool shit. You can act before you move. You can move before you act. Once you move and confirm your movement, you can't unmove. So if you want to move somewhere and attack and then realize you are one square too far, sorry. Again, in normal versions of this game, Gafgarian and Agrius would talk. Usually Gafgarian would go first. Gafgarian thinks we should kill everybody. He isn't wrong. In this pack, we have control of these characters. Gafgarian is a Fell Knight. He has access to Fell Sword. Here that means Shadow Blade. And this Shadow Blade hits at range. It does quite a lot of damage. He shall feast on your soul. He means it. That effect will, as you can see by the number above his head, that is a HP drain. Lavian, the no longer a knight. She has access to white magic. Here she even gets Cura. She has Raise, which is a revive, and Protect, which lowers damage taken. And in black magic she has Thunder and Blizzard. I believe this is fixed for her. Archers have aim. It lets them charge up a little bit and then shoot someone with a much more powerful attack. These two are kind of annoying, so our Holy Knight Agrius here will hopefully take care of at least one of them. Notice her attack does a significant amount of damage and casts Stop as an effect. In the original version of this game, it is called Stasis Sword. I think that's a much better name than Judgment Blade for what it does. Alicia's a knight. Knights, in their Art of War, have rend equipment, which lets you break things people are wearing. You can also rend attack, magic attack, defense, and magic defense. Those are very good skills. You will get a lot of use out of them throughout a playthrough, specifically in some of the advanced dungeons. Lad is just worse Ramza. Speaking of Ramza, you can see what kind of damage he does. He does a pretty decent amount of damage here. Black magics. They have a 1 radius, which means where they're targeted, 1 space out from each of them. 1 space out in each cardinal direction will be hit. Does not go at the diagonal. Magic in this hack, much better than magic in the normal game. By a significant amount. Magic would, throughout most of the game, be so much worse than attacking with melee characters. It is going to be mostly that still. The exception, if you have played Tactics before, is doing math. Doing math is really, really good. The calculator class gets to do calculations and turn that into damaging everything that meets the parameter, healing everything that meets the parameter, doing whatever you want to do to everything that meets the parameter you set. We are not going to be exploiting that too much this run. I am not a huge calculator fan. It's also pretty boring. You just end up being like, oh hey, I'm going to stand here and just win every map because I can. You can already do that with cool sword skills and stuff. You know, you don't really need math to do it. Please note, casting offensive skills on yourself will hit you. There is no friendly fire. If you drop a nuke on this guy, and it says your character is going to get hit by the nuke, your character is going to get hit by the nuke. One fun thing about casting, you can start the cast, then you can move afterwards, and it'll still cast where you want it to. Also, casts can be done on a square or on the unit. If it's cast on the square and the unit moves out of the way, it'll attempt to cast on the square and do nothing. If you cast it on the unit and the unit moves out of the way, it will, when cast, have the effect centered on the unit and might not be exactly what you wanted to do. They gave Gafgarian black magic. He can cast Sphera for a whopping 27 damage because he actually has decent faith and 5 magic attack. He should probably be doing more damage than that, honestly. This guy must have incredibly low faith. 55, that seems very low for an Awe spell. The Awe spells follow the sort of new standard of Final Fantasy. It goes Ah, as in thunder, fire, ice, and then it goes Ra, Fira, Thundara, Blizzara, and then Ga, Faraga, Thundaga, Blizzaga.
Be quick and try making it. You've quite a mouth on you, princess.
And punching girls.
Your birth and faith that brought you, not I.
This kind of dickish character, very much about blaming yourself or God. He is the origin of blame yourself or God.
Is it truly him?
The main takeaway from this scene is that something is happening.
Delita, he lives?
And Delita seems to be
Why does he fight under the banner of Duke Goltana?
a big part of it. Seems like he's working for Goltana. So that was our tutorial map. Records of the hero Delita were first seen many, many years ago, after the 50 Years' War. Knights came back. Turned out soldiers coming back from war, not a great time. Murder and theft everywhere. And here are a bunch of young adventurers and mages, two of which look real familiar, even in gray and white. Igros here in the original game. Igros, I-G-R-O-S. Looks like the Corpse Brigade is up to no good. Little Ramza and little Delita here. And with a bunch of little squires and some chemists. Looks like a generic knight dude is in charge. The Order of the Northern Sky. A seditious lot with a grudge against the crown. we are to do stuff. But first, we are to do things. A band of thieves must be stopped. Okay. Unlike normal versions of Final Fantasy Tactics, we do not have to exploit this map. This hack eliminates forced random encounters and keeps encounters from scaling sort of ridiculously early on in the game. At least the random encounters. What it means is that the fixed encounters are going to be harder than usual outside of this map, especially if they have mages in them. There is a very specific map, a few maps from now, that normally you would walk in and be like, oh, that's cute, you have some black mages. And right now it's, oh, that's horrible, you have black mages. What we're going to do is take one female squire, one male squire, and both are chemists. But we really do want to look and see what our squires are about. You'll notice they have different weapons. One squire has a longsword. The girl squire has a broadsword. The other two just have broadswords, but they have accessories. Our male chemist has a dagger. Our female chemist has a bowgun. What we want to do is position ourselves. We do want to see, and I don't think we can here, what skills people have learned. Like, we would really like to take the squires that have something that don't require them hitting stuff to be good. We can't exactly tell who those are, so we look at Brave and Faith. 63 Brave, 72 Brave, has Defend, which means a little bit of wasted JP, doesn't have Defend. So Sylphie gets to come play. And Joseph versus Godbert. Godbert comes with a cape. We're going to steal it off of him after this fight. If he's not the one coming with us. Joseph has jump +1 and a longsword, which means he's going to deal a little bit more damage. But he probably has less JP available than Godbert. Godbert's bravery 62, Joseph 58. We're gonna take Codebert instead. And we're gonna take our chemists. And we'll commence the battle. Normally, you would not control Delita in this map. And because of the way everything scales, you would want to essentially trap their chemist here in between all your guys, and then very slowly, because he has no weapons, he cannot attack, throw stones and dash at each other until you got bored and had gained many hundreds of JP, which you could then learn on the important skills in your base classes, and then leveled up as soon as new equipment became available. And then you would stop leveling because you wouldn't want to scale the encounters up too much, and it made sort of a weird circle of, I have to get some levels and I have to time out exactly where I get those levels. This version of the game you don't. It's much nicer. Delita, you'll notice, has Salve, which is a cure He has Chant, which is a heal and deals himself damage. He has Rush. It's a one-space attack, does less damage than attacking, but can knock people back. And then Stone is Throw Stone. I don't know why they got rid of the throw in this version. He can throw stone at range and deal about 10-ish damage. Seven damage there. 10 damage there. That's about the most it'll ever do. Our male chemist is really doing the least in this map. Fundamentals, Rush and Salve. Turns out we're sort of a big deal. We do have Tailwind. That gives you a permanent 1 speed. To go back into how CT works. Once a character takes an action, every character gains plus speed to their CT. If anyone's at 100, they get the action. If no one's at 100, you repeat that again, you repeat that again, you repeat that again. When someone takes an action, it clears out the CT of anyone at 100. It starts with the highest above 100, and then I think it sorts by speed. If for some reason two characters end up over 100 on the same CT number, everyone clears the action. Once no one's at 100, it increments again. Big advantage to not moving and acting if you don't have to. Waiting a turn, not heavily punished because you only drop a certain amount of CT. Speed, a very important stat in this game. 10 speed versus 5 speed, you will get to take turns twice as fast. Speed can cap out on maps at 50. Anytime your stats go up or down in battle, at least Brave or Faith, you keep 25% of that after the battle to a maximum of a certain amount. When you hit 90 or when you hit 85 of one of those stats, I believe you can only go up 3 a turn. When you hit 94, you can, or 93, you can only go up 1 per battle permanently. That is one way in the original game to keep you from faith deserting. You want your mage characters to have as high a faith as possible because that determines magic damage, but you don't want them to end the battle and have a permanent 95 faith or above, or they desert. So if you keep them at 93, you boost them up. They end the battle 94. You just have to find a way to get that back down to 93. Or don't go into battle and cast Bravery, or Faith Plus on them. Bravery, same difference, only Brave works if you get too low. Doesn't matter. We're never going to have low Brave. Every one of our melee characters is going to have as high a Brave as possible. When we get ways to boost their Brave, every battle they're going to end with as much Brave as possible. Their Bravery is going to be skyrocketing. That's the only thing they care about as melee characters. Preferably we want their Faith down, so they are affected less by physical skills. Spoilers, White Mage, not very good. There are much better ways to heal in this game that don't involve faith calculations. As we said before, with how evade works, you'll notice attacking people from the front, less than 100% hit rate. That'll be true anytime you want to hit something from the front. Hitting stuff from the back has higher hit rate. Hitting stuff from the side has a higher hit rate than hitting it from the front, lower hit rate than hitting it from the back. Does not affect damage. Height can affect certain things. As we said, different weapons have bonuses or penalties for hitting up or down too many squares. Bows, if you're high enough, you can actually overshoot. So you can hit stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to shoot. If you're shooting upwards, your bow may just hit off the rocks or something. Again, that chemist does nothing other than throw potions. I guess he can punch us. He does not have the punch people real good skill, though. That is in Monk. It is one of their decent and very broken for a couple characters support skills. Usually those chemists will not attack anyone, especially if there is someone that has taken damage to heal. When you gain JP, everyone else on the map gains JP equal to 25% of the JP you just gained in the class you are. So there, Ramsa got 18 JP, everyone else got 4 Squire JP. Incredibly useful at times when you want to power level your classes, being able to that was unfortunate. Being able to spread the JP out is always useful, or at least mostly useful. Chemists can throw items farther than 1 square. Anyone else, unless they have the throw item command, cannot. When stuff dies, in 3 of its turns, it will die. Otherwise, it's just knocked out. You can revive it with Phoenix Downs, or the revive skill, or you can end the map with them still down and they will not count as dead. Chemist is just going to feed himself potions. Notice this is a 5 height difference, so there is no jumping up there. She must be wearing boots of some kind. Like that. You can push people off of roofs. It's fun when you do that. Right now we're just trying to fish out JP. We want, hopefully, everyone that's going to be going onto a map with us to have focus as an available skill. Potions are very cheap once we can buy them. We don't have to worry too much about conserving them. Let's make sure the chemist pops a potion again. The enemy seems to have infinite items. They never really run out. These ones are very dodgy. We're about to see what happens when you die and leave a crystal behind. That was a crit. Did a significant amount of damage. Gramps just keeps tailwinding himself to give himself speed. Eventually he's going to take a lot of actions per everyone else's actions. Okay, crystals. Standing on a crystal in Final Fantasy Tactics lets you either restore HP and MP to full, or if the person you killed has skills that you don't have, you have a random chance of learning it. It usually pops up a list with 3 choices you can pick from them. I think on this map you can't learn skills. Oh, you can. We're going to go ahead and learn Antidote. When I was playing through this to see how this hack worked, nothing I killed gave me a crystal. Or none of the crystals gave me ability learning. In addition to crystals, they can drop treasure chests, which will drop 1 random item they had equipped. Sometimes that is a way to get items you couldn't otherwise get. We'd really like this to kill. There we go. Okay, and now we are just kind of waiting around. What we would hope for is that at least one of these guys had focus, and they would have that as a learnable ability. Note that the last enemy on a map you'll never be able to learn skills from. Also, if it's a map that ends as soon as you kill a specific boss, you're not going to be able to inherit their skills because they will be dead, and the map will end. Okay, if he was smart, he would have moved over to that crystal. He is not smart, however. When you target yourself with an action, you always gain 10 XP. You gain JP equal to a function of your level and job level. The higher the job level, the more XP. The higher the job points you get. The higher your level, the higher the job points you get. Let's have Salve. Salve doesn't do anything. I don't really want to throw a rock at my squire that will kill him. Tailwind again. When you get 100 XP, you get a level up, and then your XP goes to 0. It doesn't carry over. You'll notice Ramza is now taking multiple turns at a time. It's because his speed is 16. He has lapped a bunch of characters, and he is close to lapping them again. Will we get an ability? We won't. We are, again, just sort of running out the clock. Every time Ramza takes an action, he's giving everyone else about 5 JP, which isn't a lot, but it's not nothing. You can attack your own characters. I picked the wrong squire, I think. It doesn't actually matter. This version of the game, we're definitely going to be showing off different classes, and that is going to mean using some different characters. Mostly because I think it's fun. Also fun is shooting your friend in the head with your crossbow in a video game. We got a dagger. That's probably the worst thing that can be in any one of these chests, and we don't have the ability to do anything with our turn. That's another reason this map is a little worse here. These characters should have certain skills that they don't in this hack. This hack is kind of interesting. And we're gonna wait. And we're gonna wait. Later on in the game, this is a strategy with Ramza because he will have a skill that not only gives him +1 speed, it will also give him attack and brave. He will spam that mostly on himself, but also on everyone else. Well, that one is self-only. He'll spam the other people version on other people. What we don't want him to do is gain too many levels. I was thinking, okay, that chick has to be almost dead. She is almost dead. Then I can miss 6 times on 99% chances to hit. It'll be great. There we go. Tired of seeing Tailwind yet? I know I sure am. Take an action, have the next action. That's pretty good. Have the next 2 actions. We are up to 27 speed. That's the wrong chemist. free jump. This one is pretty cool. It's a jump. This one we don't have to buy. Okay, with the map clear, we get spoils. In this case, 500 gil. And after battle trophies of a dagger, we'll never use a mithril knife, a longbow, which is great if we want to make an archer, leather armor, which is better than nothing if you have a heavy armor wear like a knight, phoenix down, and some money. Okay, differences in this version of the game. Red markers, that is where stuff happens. Green markers, field locations. Blue markers, towns and cities. In most versions of the map, let's say Mandala Plain would be green. If you clicked here on Egros Castle when it was blue, and you walked across the plain, you'd have a chance to get into a random encounter. This hack of the game, that does not happen. If you click on that space and walk to it, you will 100% have a battle. If you click on a different space and walk through it, you will 100% not have a battle. Unless there is a triggered event that happens on that space, in which case it will happen. There are not too many triggered events that happen walking through a place. Usually they go red on your map. You click on them, you walk to them. That was the end of our tutorial and our first map. We will come back and see more of this game later. Thank you all for tuning in. This video was a bit longer than I thought. I explained a few things. Took a little bit longer on that map than I normally would, just trying to see how stuff would fall into place. Get you in a bit.